All right. How you doing today?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing so far today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for being here. This is an honor to have Rick Curti, the CEO and founder of the Charlotte Bats. So I'm glad that you can be with us today and tell us a little bit about yourself and your vision to start the Charlotte Bats.
Well, I founded this about 7 years ago. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I decided, you know what? We have everything in Charlotte. We got basketball, we got football, we got everything, and I figured we need a Major League Baseball team in Charlotte. So I had to make a choice. Either I do something about it or I just wait. And I don't like to wait. So I said, let's just do this, see what happens. And, at least I tried doing something we wanted to do. And it's just grown over the last couple of years or so. It's just grown like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I did some research on the story and I see it. I can see the vision that Charlotte's going to have a baseball team. I just feel like it's coming. In fact, I'm speaking into existence. Charlotte Bats, they're on their way. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. But when you first heard that Rob Manfred was narrowing it down and you were on the short list, how did you feel?
Oh, we felt great. Someone actually, I had a couple people message me on Facebook and they say, congratulations. And I went like, huh? And there are people that I really don't talk to them very much. So I thought that's weird. And I kept getting two or three messages, and then it says Charlie's going to get MLB, and I looked at it, and it was a short list that Commissioner Manfred put out, and had Charlotte on this list for expansion, and it was there with Portland and Las Vegas and Montreal and Nashville and all these other great cities, and I thought, wow. I said, we're not crazy after all. Like we've been telling people, Charlotte can support MLB. I'm shocked Charlotte has never had MLB. It's time. People are coming here. We have a lot of transplants here. We have a lot of money here. We have a lot of sponsors here. And when people say Charlotte's too much of a small market, I just say, well, so is Milwaukee. They won the NBA championship. So Tampa Bay is a small market. You know, Green Bay, the Packers, they're not the biggest market in the world, and they have like probably the one of the greatest fan bases in all sports. And we have South Carolina next door, so the people from South Carolina, they don't have pro baseball or football. They can come to Charlotte and support our new MLB team.
Oh, that's awesome. And I know what you mentioned great points about the small market team. Unfortunately, with baseball, a lot of times what you get is that you feel as if they're chasing the money. It's a business. They're looking for the money. Do you feel as if a team in Charlotte can be sustainable over many years?
Absolutely. I mean, people want to see an MLB team here. We have a minor league team here, and people support that. And like I said, we have a lot of Northerns here. We have people like nobody's from Charlotte. Like I'm from Los Angeles. We got people from New York. We got people from Ohio. We have people from Michigan. We got people from all over. And if people want to drive 4.5 hours to Atlanta, hey, so be it. I'm not going to do that. Or take a 10-hour plane ride to Washington D.C. because those are the two closest teams that we have in Charlotte. So I want to support my own MLB team, and we've proven it over the last 30 years or so by supporting the Panthers and supporting the Hornets. We have a hockey team in Raleigh. We're actually getting Major League Soccer this year. The MLS has expanded to Charlotte, so more pro sports are coming here. So people are craving for pro sports, and for so long we've been stereotyped with college for so long with Duke and the Tar Heels. We've been stereotyped so much with NASCAR, and I think people have over the years, North Carolina has shown that we're more than just college basketball and NASCAR. It's time to have an MLB team here.
Yeah, that's a great point. Also, what happens here, I'm not too far from, the St. Petersburg area. I'm in the Tampa area, but the Rays have done a lot of great things here. And that's one thing that people don't understand about smaller market teams is that you can be successful. Speak on that as far as smaller market teams getting a chance.
Well, I mean, like I said, Tampa Bay, I mean, they had 100 wins. They were in the World Series not too long ago. They're a small market team, and they're very successful. Green Bay Packers. I mean, Green Bay is, not the largest place in the world, but that fan base, I mean, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. Look, Kansas City Royals, another great team. You know, you don't have to be this big, sexy city to support sports. You don't have to be in New York, a Los Angeles, a Las Vegas, or anything like that. It's okay to be a small market team. People just assume because you have the largest payroll in sports that you're going to win, and that's not necessarily the truth. Just talk to the Yankees and Dodgers about that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of small market teams are succeeding well, and they're doing well because they have great fans that support them. They have a great front office that know when to do trades and how to draft. They have great scouts. So, like I say, you don't have to be in this big, large city. You can be in a medium sized city like Charlotte, or a small market, or like a Tampa Bay. And Charlotte has a bigger population than 13 other cities that has Major League Baseball. So we can support it. We've been compared to Pittsburgh for the growth, for the people, the economy, and Pittsburgh's got, they got football, they got baseball, but no basketball. We're kind of like the opposite. We have basketball, we got football, but no baseball. So, and the Steelers, another great fan base. Pittsburgh's not a big, sexy city either. And their fans are probably one of the greatest fans in all sports, just like with Green Bay. So you don't have to be a big, huge market to have a successful team at all.
No, you're absolutely right. And the Charlotte Knights have been doing very successful. They're making a lot of headway. One of the things that people said is that usually with Major League Baseball, they don't have the minor league team with a major league team. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I love the Knights. They're a great team. They were in South Carolina for so long. They finally came to Charlotte, and their attendance went from last to first. And that's a minor league baseball team. So if people get excited about minor league baseball in Charlotte, I can just imagine how they would get excited about MLB. Probably the unfortunate part is that we can't have both. We can't have a minor league or a major league baseball team. So I think it would be a great idea, if Charlotte maybe moved somewhere to South Carolina and they could be the AAA affiliate of the Charlotte Bats. Right now the Knights, their MLB affiliate is the Chicago White Sox. And it'd be kind of cool to have our farm system in South Carolina, which is a short drive to Charlotte, because a lot of people just assume that these minor league players, they think they're all millionaires and billionaires, and they're not. They make like 500 a month sometimes. Even, it's rare to see someone like a Bryce Harper or Strasburg that signs millions and millions of dollars. That's not necessarily the case. 99% of these minor league players, they do not make a lot of money. So I think it'd be kind of cool that they have a short trip from South Carolina to Charlotte to have our team here. So I think that'd be fun for MLB. I think it'd be fun for both for our state and for South Carolina, which is our sister state. And I think what makes Charlotte so unique and North Carolina so different is that we have a sister state next door. I mean, I could drive to South Carolina. It takes me 25 minutes to get there. So I mean, that's the beauty of and intriguing part about us, is that we're two states in one. So when people say we're small market or something like that, we have two states that right over the border, and all those other cities on that list don't have that.
Yeah, and for the people listening on us who doesn't know, it's the Portland, Oregon. We had Nashville, Tennessee. We have Charlotte. We also had, what was the other? We had Vegas.
Las Vegas, Montreal.
Yep, that's right. And
and Vancouver.
Vancouver, that's right. So those are the short lists. I did some research, and Ben Verlander, he had in his top five, he had Nashville number one, Montreal, Canada number two. His number third choice was Vegas. Well, Charlotte was number four in his view, and Portland, Oregon. So we need to move Charlotte up to at least the number one or two. What are your thoughts on his top five?
Well, I mean, that's a cool top five. I can knock two of them out right away with Montreal and Las Vegas, because the Oakland A's are most likely going to be moving to Las Vegas. They're already looking at Las Vegas. They've been there 6 or 7 times looking at property. Like the Raiders, they want a new stadium. They're not getting it. They saw the Raiders move to Las Vegas, get a beautiful stadium.
Mhm.
And Oakland, they've been promised a new stadium for over 20 years and nothing has happened. They're fed up. And Las Vegas said, hey, we'll take you. We took the football team. We'll take the baseball team. We'll build you a stadium. And so they're looking at property. I think the last I saw, they were looking at where the old Tropicana uh, uh, casino was at, as a possible destination for a stadium. And for Montreal, Tampa is going to be splitting their games in Montreal. You know, half of them will be in Tampa and half of them will be in Montreal, which is interesting. And I think that's more to put more pressure on the city of St. Petersburg or Tampa to build them a stadium. Because if they don't, then they maybe they'll go to Montreal. I don't know. So when they do expand, they'll expand when they get those stadiums situated in Oakland and Tampa, and that's when they'll expand. And I do believe that it will be Nashville and Charlotte as a 31st and 32nd team.
No, I definitely agree with you. I definitely think Nashville has kind of leg up because when I did the research, they have the ties from the Negro leagues. And I think because of that, and they kind of got a leg up on the general manager, that they probably is going to be tough to beat out of that number one spot. What are your thoughts on Nashville probably at least being one of the two?
I mean, that's fine. As
Yeah.
long as we get a team, like I said, they always expand by two.
Yeah.
So instead of 30, there'll be 32. So it'll be two teams that will be expanding. And Nashville's a great city. It's a lot like Charlotte. It's very similar. A lot of people move from there. A lot of transplants. It's about the same size as Charlotte. It's on the south, so I mean, it'll be great to have Nashville, Charlotte, and Atlanta, in the MLB, and they can have their own Southern Division rivalry. You got a lot of teams on the West Coast, a lot of teams in the Midwest. What Major League Baseball needs is more teams in the South, and I think North Carolina and Tennessee, and of course Georgia. The Braves just won the World Series. The Georgia Bulldogs won the championship. And so we had those three great Southern states representing MLB. No offense to Florida, no offense to Texas, but they don't even call themselves the South. So it'll be great to have a team like a true Southern rivalry right there with North Carolina, Tennessee, and Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with you. You don't really have too many teams on that neck of the woods, so it'd be why not? And with the Charlotte Bats, how did you come up with the name?
Well, originally I wanted to call them the Charlotte Cardinals. The Cardinals are the state bird of North Carolina. That would have been perfect, but unfortunately, way too many Cardinal names. You got the St. Louis Cardinals, you got the Louisville Cardinals, you got the Stanford Cardinals. A lot of Cardinal names, and unfortunately, we couldn't use it. Then we came up with the Charlotte Bat Dogs, was something that someone came up with, and I just thought that's kind of a funny, peculiar name. People hated it.
Mhm.
And I look back and say, what made me think of that name? And eventually someone just said, why don't you just call them the Charlotte Bats?
Yeah.
And so when I did some research about it, because I wanted the names to tie with North Carolina and Charlotte, we actually had a minor league baseball team called the Greensboro Bats from 1994 to 2004. And now they're called the Grasshoppers. And then we have a lot of bats. Bats are very common in Charlotte. And the colors we chose are forest green with yellow. Those are the same colors as our university, UNCC Charlotte, home of the 49ers. So I think the name and the colors all tie with Charlotte and North Carolina and with North Carolina. And people seem to like the name.
Yeah, it has a nice ring to it, and it has a nice story to it as well. With the Charlotte Bats, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on how people support you in this venture to getting a team in Charlotte. What could someone do from our listening audience to maybe get you to that next level?
Well, we have a website. It's www.charlottebats.com. We have a petition on there. People can sign it. We're on Facebook at Charlotte MLB, also at Charlotte Bats Baseball. We're on Instagram at Charlotte Bats, on Twitter at Charlotte Bats, and I'm also on LinkedIn under Rick Curti. And like I say, you can go on our website and hear about the history of Charlotte. I talk about a little bit about why Charlotte and what Charlotte represents. We have a petition on there. We have a page where I've been doing my interviews, and a lot of people have been very interested in our story. Our local news is very interested. Our mayor is interested. She'd love to see an MLB team in Charlotte. Like I say, you can sign the petition, and we're actually going to be coming out with an online store soon. We'll have hats and jerseys and T-shirts, and people will be excited. And it's time to get MLB in Charlotte, and we're just waiting for Oakland and Tampa to get their new stadiums, and the commissioner will expand. And I can tell you, Las Vegas going to Oakland, Montreal, Tampa. We'll see what happens there. I don't see a team in Vancouver because they lost to Grizzlies, so I don't see that happening. I don't see Portland because I think Seattle will have an issue with it. So to me, the most logical places would be Nashville and Charlotte.
Yeah, when you take a look at the short list, it makes sense. It definitely makes a lot of sense. In fact, let's see some of the stuff that you have so that people can see some of the jerseys and stuff that you have
Well,
available.
here's our hat that's coming out, and it also says, "Let's bring MLB to Charlotte." Here's one of my shirts I have right here. Just have a nice patch on there with the Charlotte Bats. And this is our home jersey that we have right here. And so we have the hat right there. And we also have the little, as you can see, the North Carolina, make it very interesting. So we want to go with the old style. I remember the Pittsburgh Pirates back in the day that they had the dark sleeves and the white jerseys. And I remember during the Bill Mazeroski days, hopefully, I don't know if your listeners know who Bill Mazeroski was, back in the 60s. And they had these cool looking uniforms. And we wanted to go back with that old style of jersey. So we have the dark sleeves, and we have the white with the forest green pinstripes on there. And so I think and people seem to like them a lot. I showed them to people, and they're already like, when can I buy one? So I think we did a good job on the jerseys, and people seem to like it, and everything's coming together. We're just waiting for Commissioner Manfred to come out with his list of when we're going to expand, and I'm excited. I'm already getting ready for our expansion draft. When we do get one, so it'll be Nashville and Charlotte and the expansion draft. So and it's going to be great for baseball. They need more states in there. There's a lot of places that don't have a Major League Baseball team or a pro team, and we're lucky to have two, and let's make it three. And we're getting soccer as well, so I think that's going to help as well. Seeing MLS expand to Charlotte, I think the commissioner will see that and say, see, Charlotte's becoming a great place for professional sports. And I didn't contact him. He put out this list himself. He's the one that saw that Charlotte can support MLB, and that list has been shortened down over the years. I think he had Oklahoma in the beginning. He had Mexico City. He actually had New Jersey on there in the beginning, and he's shortened it now, and Charlotte's still on that list. And so we're very, very excited, and we're very thankful to Commissioner Manfred for putting this list together.
Have you got a chance to speak to Mr. Manfred about your vision and the Charlotte Bats?
Unfortunately, he's a very busy man. He's always, he's running the league right now. Unfortunately, they're having a lockout right now.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Right now I can't even say anything to him right now, So, hopefully when the lockout ends, eventually, well, it's going to have to end. But when it does end, hopefully we can make some contact with him and just say thank you for what he's doing. I did send him a gift a while ago, a T-shirt and a hat, see what he thought of it. So hopefully he enjoys it, and say thank you. That's a little thank you to putting us on this list.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think you're moving in the right direction. In fact, I want to order one of the shirt you have on and the jersey.
It'll be coming out soon. Absolutely, it'll be coming out soon. That's one of the things that we want to come out with, this online store. Unfortunately, things got delayed because of COVID. And hopefully we'll be steering in the right direction. I feel 2022 will be a great year for not only for the Bats but for our country, and hopefully we can put this pandemic way behind and just go on with our normal lives. So things are getting sort of back to normal, but I hopefully they'll get normal like we're used to, and I think we're going to get there.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like we're moving in the right direction. Things are turning around. COVID is still there, but people have learned a lot more about it, and things about Major League Baseball. one of the things that I've noticed about being here in the Tampa area is that people love the idea of the stadium, but nobody wants to pay for it. What are your thoughts on the infrastructure as far as paying for a stadium?
Well, I think the problem with Tampa is that they play in St. Petersburg,
Yeah.
and that's the problem right there. They're not in Tampa. They had a stadium near where the Bucks played. They would be doing great. I mean,
Mhm.
Tampa Bay Bucks look great. They won the Super Bowl last year. The Tampa Bay Lightning, oh, they're back-to-back Stanley Cup winners now.
Yeah.
And so Tampa is really doing really, really well. And I think if they put the stadium in Tampa, I think it would do well. And then unfortunately it's in St. Petersburg, which is kind of out of the way. And I think that's the reason why there's low attendance. And I think for us, I think it would be a good idea, kind of take a page from the Raiders and have the tourists pay for it. They put a tax on put a hotel tax, and actually the tourists paid for the stadium. And I think Charlotte or other cities that want to build stadiums, I think that's something they should do. Because we get a lot of tourism out here. If you put like a hotel, like a 25 cent, hotel tax, and have the tourists pay for it, I think the people would support it. So I think that's one way that you can get a stadium built without raising taxes to our local residents.
Yeah, that's a great idea, to go ahead and just have somebody else in the tourist pay for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it works for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Why not? And like I said, we have a lot of tourism around here in Charlotte. So I mean, that would be just one great idea. Or maybe we can. I love what Green Bay does, where they don't have an owner. The people own the team, and that'd be
Yeah.
kind of fun if people had like a small percentage of the bats, just like with the Packers. And I love what they do. That's how they get the community involved. Is they say, well, we don't have an owner, you're the owner. So that'd be another great idea, to have like the people own the team instead of some billionaire that owns it.
Yeah, that's right. It's always nice when people own things rather than one person, but the nice thing about where you're at is that I see the passion and the work you put into it. Is when do you think possibly this might come into fruition?
Well, it just depends when they're going to when they're going to get new stadiums in Tampa and Oakland.
Mhm.
And like I said, I see Oakland going to Las Vegas. I think that's just the conclusion right there. And we'll see what happens with Tampa. Either Tampa gets a new stadium, or because they have to put it in Tampa. I just can't see them putting one in St. Petersburg. It's not going to do anything. You have to put it in Tampa, put it next to where the Bucks play, and it would do really well there, in my opinion. And so when those two things do happen, they'll expand. So I'd say maybe like in the next 5 years, I see expansion coming. The commissioner's really been very rapid in this. He's the one that told Oakland that it's probably best to look at other markets, and they are, and they're looking at Las Vegas right now. And Las Vegas is very similar to Charlotte. I actually lived in Las Vegas for 5 years, so I know they can support an MLB team there, and it's the same. It's like it is very similar to Charlotte. Same growth, same size city, and they do have a minor league team there that does very well. They just built a stadium there, just like Charlotte. Their stadium is not that old as well. So Las Vegas, and Nashville and Charlotte are three cities. You don't think they would be similar, but they are very similar in size and growth. And they're also three of the most fastest growing cities in the U.S.
Yeah. So for somebody who hasn't actually visited Charlotte, what can you tell us about Charlotte as a city?
Well, it's a great place. I've been here 13 years. We have the NASCAR Hall of Fame here. We have the Panthers here. Unfortunately, they're not very good right now, but we do have the Panthers. We have the Hornets. We have the exciting LaMelo Ball. And, Michael Jordan is the owner. I think everybody knows who Michael Jordan is. It's been growing like crazy. It's one of the top places for young entrepreneurs to move to, where we have so many Fortune 500 companies out here. We have so many sponsors out here. We have a Food Line and Harris Teeter. Bank of America is actually headquartered in Charlotte, so it's a big banking city. So we have no problems with with sponsors. We have Carowinds, which is sort of like a Disneyland type amusement park that's actually on the North and South Carolina border. And so if they ever want to build a stadium, I think it'd be great to build it near there. Half of it in North Carolina, half it in South Carolina. So that'd be kind of fun, a fun thing that they can do with that. And like I said, we're surrounded by mountains. We got beaches. We have Charleston, South Carolina. It's a great place to visit. You know, we have a Boone, great university, and the Appalachians up there. And we got our UNCC 49ers. They just started having a football team here 7 years ago. They've already been to a bowl game. So, I mean, we got everything here. Everything's so close by. It's compact. It's like a nice walk there. We have great parks, great school educations here. A lot of people are moving here. And actually, Charlotte was picked as one of the most affordable cities to live in as well. So it's pretty much got everything here except Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's the only thing missing. We need to get that team in there. Yeah, that's all we need to do. And you mentioned that, Rob Manfred, he has a lot on his plate right now. What do you think is the best advice or for the teams to get back into action and for the strike to end?
Well, unfortunately, it's all about money right now, and you have millionaires and billionaires fighting with each other, and, the fans are just getting tired of it. So I would just tell them just to put their egos aside, because without the fans, there wouldn't be no sport. They're the ones that support it. And just put the egos away, forget about all, you're already successful and rich and everything. And it's time to just put those things aside and let's open up the gates and let's do it for the fans. Hopefully Major League Baseball learned from their mistake in '94 when they canceled the World Series. It took a long time for MLB to come back. It took McGuire and Sosa's historic home run chase to kind of bring the fans back. And, that I just wish more sports can just remember the fans instead of just remembering their checkbooks and stuff like that. So that's my advice to them. Let's just do it for the fans. We need to have a season here. I think it's going to open up on time right now. I think they're having negotiations right now, but unfortunately, it's like people say, it's always about money, and unfortunately in sports, it usually is.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what it usually is about making money. And that's one of the things about you mentioned about the infrastructure of Charlotte, but I know that they're going to look at that, which is unfortunate that that attribute is just looking at money. What are your thoughts about that? That immediately when people think about sports, they think about how much money can they make or how much money they're not making.
Well, unfortunately, that's just everywhere. I mean, it's in sports, it's corporate America, it's everywhere. It's just, that's just how it is now. It is about money. It's about making money, and sometimes the little person gets forgotten, and that's unfortunate. So you just see it everywhere now. And you have people, like during this pandemic, opening up when they probably shouldn't have been doing it. And I understand because it's their business, their livelihood. But I think the ones that always get forgotten are the local owners, the local little businesses around here that can't shut their doors for 6 months or a year and stuff like that. So it's tough, it's hard, but you just got to do what you got to do and just take it one day at a time, and like I said, I hope this pandemic will get past us and behind us soon, and we get back to our normal lives, because I think that's what's hurt it a lot. But with that's just how it is. It's either about making lots of money or saving lots of money. And so, that's just how our world is today.
Yeah. It's good and bad at the same time. It's good that people want to be, have the entrepreneurial spirit to a certain degree, but you're right. I mean, memories, they last, and money is not always the case for everything. But I did want to get your last thoughts on you. Did you used to play baseball? Your passion for baseball?
I played baseball. I was very bad at it.
Okay.
I was never a great athlete. I didn't even make my own high school baseball team. My brother was the athlete. He was a great baseball player, great football player. I was a guy that just kind of sat on the bench and kind of observed everything. And, I always thought that, you should be a great athlete if you're going to get into sports. But one of my biggest role models is Pete Rozelle. Pete Rozelle never played any professional football, never a great athlete, and yet he's a pioneer of the NFL. Was it for Pete Rozelle, NFL wouldn't be this billion-dollar juggernaut that it is. He brought the commercials, the licensing. He brought it to the forefront. And, he's a great pioneer, a great vision. And that's someone who I've always admired. So when people always say, well, it probably going to hurt you that you never played sports, I say, well, it didn't hurt Pete Rozelle. So, and I'm not comparing myself to Pete Rozelle, but that's one person that I always looked up to that said, see, he didn't play football at all. I don't think he even was any good at it. And look what he did. So if he can do it, why can't I do it for Major League Baseball?
Absolutely. You're going to be the CEO and founder of the Charlotte Bats. You're going to have a team in Charlotte. And that's right. You don't have to be the world's greatest baseball player to make an impact in sports. Keep doing what you're doing. And I want to make sure our listening audience make sure they look at charlottebats.com and follow you on Instagram and Facebook. Also, I do want to order that shirt and that jersey you have there, and I want you to autograph it for me. So I'm going to make sure
Deal.
I do that. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I order it. And have my own memory of Rick Curti. So definitely.
I said, hey, the people will say, isn't that goofy guy that you interviewed a while ago? Well, he's on. They actually got a baseball team. Look, Charlie got an MLB team. I think the great thing is when I started this, people just thought, oh, no, we can't support a team. We've been used as pawns, for years. Every time an owner wants a new stadium, they always say they're going to move to Charlotte. And then presto, they get their new stadium. And so I think now we're not a pawn no more. People are looking at Charlotte as a big major city that can support sports. We're only one of three cities that have football and basketball, no baseball, and the other two are Indianapolis and New Orleans. So we're right on the cusp of it. We're gonna get it soon. And like I said, I'm just happy that we're on this list. I'm happy that people have come around now over the years and have seen that Charlotte can support MLB. And and with all the transplants here and everything, it's going to happen. We just got to wait what happens with Oakland and Tampa. And like I said, the A's, they're going to be moving to Las Vegas. You heard it from me first. So and I hate to see cities lose teams because we lost the Hornets and then we got them back. But that's just how it is sometimes, And so I'm excited to hopefully talk to you again, and we'll have our new MLB team, and we'll be either the 31st or the 32nd. But we'll be joining Nashville and Major League Baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlotte Bats and Rick Curti will have a team in Charlotte. I'm speaking into existence. I know it's going to happen. And I definitely would love to have you back here, Rick, on the Alan and Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. I'm really honored to have you on our show as a guest. And we're going to keep in touch. We're going to go ahead and keep the lines of communication moving so that I can go down there and see the new stadium. That's awesome.
I appreciate it. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe you could throw out the first pitch and we'll see what happens. And what's great about Charlotte, a lot of people don't know, a lot of MLB legends have started their careers here. Cal Ripken Jr. played here. Harmon Killebrew played here. Tony Oliva, who's going into the Hall of Fame, played here. The movie Field of Dreams, Moonlight Graham, there actually was a real Moonlight Graham. He played for the Charlotte Hornets baseball team and is from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So we have a lot of history here, a lot of tradition for professional baseball.
Yeah, a lot of history, a lot of great things doing in Charlotte. Great city living in. And definitely we're looking forward to that new team.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. My pleasure, Rick. Thank you so much. And enjoy the rest of your day and continue success. And make sure you go to Charlotte Bats, doesn't cost you anything, and sign that petition.
Yep, just go on there, sign there. You can go on our email, cltbatsbaseball@gmail.com for any updates, or if you have any suggestions or anything, send us an email.
I will do. And definitely I'm looking forward to ordering those shirts. All right.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. You have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.